Hello there, Gunpla fans of YouTube. It's time to take a look at another Gunpla, a master grade, a very old master grade. Not quite as old as the oldest, but still an old one. Gonna take a look at the master grade Zaku I. This is a bit of an overlooked kit, I think, these days. Mainly because it is so old. But it's worth taking a look at. So let's see what this old relic of the past is all about. So here it is, the Master Grade Zaku I. Now, as you can tell, this kit is painted up. I did do some work on this kit. This was from way back in the day when I used to do a lot of work on my kits here. Now, as this kit is pretty much just a retool of the original Zaku II Master Grade kit, a lot of the things I said in my review prior about that kit in particular will still apply here. The only real difference between this kit and the old Zaku II kit is you're going to get the new parts to make it into the Zaku I. And you don't really have to deal with the power cables on this kit, so yay, you don't have to deal with that. There is one downside, I would say, with this kit here as a result. This was before Bandai was able to intelligently color separate parts for their kits here, especially on the retools and recolors. So there's going to be a lot of parts on this kit that are not molded in the colors they should be. It's nothing major, but it is more than you would expect out of a Bandai kit nowadays. So, and I'll try and point those out as I go over the kit a little bit more in detail here. So, anyway, let's take a closer look here. Alright, so here is a closer look at the Zaku I Master Grade. As I mentioned, this kit is painted up, so it's not going to be reflective of what the kit will actually look like straight out of the box. If you do want to see what this kit actually looks like in its original plastic form, I will link the photo gallery of delong.net below. That way you can actually see what this kit looks like straight out of the box here and get a better idea of what you would actually be getting here. So let's just go over articulation real quick. It's going to be very similar to the Zaku II kit that I reviewed before. Head, about that much here. Arms, go around like so. There's two rotating joints for the arms. You have right there, and you have one in the elbow. Arm bend, not very good. It's about 90 degrees before the arm starts to come out. Shoulder, it's only going to come up about that far here. There is a very minimal clavicle joint in this thing. That's about all you're going to get. No joint in the torso. It's just a solid piece of plastic frame in here, so it's not going to move at all. Skirt armor barely moves. Side skirts only go up a little bit like that. Back skirt, well, it's generally fixed in place, but it's kind of coming out a little bit here. Thruster pods, they move around like so. Legs, you can get up about that far. Back about that far, not too much here, and they spread apart like that. These are these old polycap socket joints in here, so they're known to not be very good for legs, so it's a very old school. Knee joint, about 90 degrees. The foot, very minimal side to side, back and forth. About that much. Back, not a whole lot. You kind of have to push the foot forward a bit to get a little bit more out of that. That's what you get. And this piece here will flip up to see the piston inside of there, if you want to look at that. The top hatch on the head will open up just like with the Zaku II kit. You get the same sort of detail inside of there. This has the same gearing mechanism inside of it to move the eye around. I find that on my Zaku I kit, it's very, very stiff. almost to the point where it doesn't really want to move, so I'm not going to try and force that. It's kind of almost stuck in place the way it is, so I'm not gonna mess with that here on camera. There is one thing this kit I think does better than the Zaku II kit, and that is the Cockpit Hatch here. It's on a better hinge, so it kind of opens up a little bit more than the Zaku II kit. And you can see inside of there we have our seated pilot figure and the generators on the other side right there. The hands are the same thing as before on the old kit. It's the same 3-finger, index finger, thumb, posable hands. So they were okay for the time, but they are kind of not very good at holding on to things, as you'll probably see later on in the review here. Alright, so I'm just going to do like a real quick rundown of the seams on the kit here, which you want to pay attention to when you get the kit. There'll be a seam on the front snout of the Zaku head. There's going to be a seam along the arm, upper arm piece here. There'll be a seam running down the middle of the arm here. You're going to have a seam on the lower arm running down through here, alongside on the back too, and all these as well you have to clean up. The hands come in a 2-piece sandwich piece. You're going to need to clean that up, otherwise the hands will just fall apart. Upper legs, there's a seam that runs down the middle of the legs, back and front. Lower legs, same thing, a seam on the front and back of these that you're going to need to clean up. Alright, that was seams. Went through that pretty quick. Actually, there may be a few others on the kit that I might have missed, but I think those are all the major ones. So let's get on to the other thing here, which is the color inaccuracy, and that's probably the thing that's going to stand out a lot more. So, as I mentioned, this was before Bandai was able to intelligently color separate parts on their sprue runners. So there's a lot of mismatched color parts on this kit as a result of it being sort of a retooling of a older kit here. There are several internal parts that are molded in blue plastic that you're going to want to paint. I know the internal head parts are molded in blue. I know that the upper joint in the arm here, this piece right here, actually comes molded in blue. I can pull it off and show you here. It comes molded in blue plastic. You're going to want to paint that if you want that to look right. I know there is a part on the thrusters back here that comes molded in blue. You're probably going to want to paint that too. And if you want to look at this piston down here, that also comes molded in blue plastic. You're going to want to paint that too if you plan on looking at that. Alright, so let's talk about the extras that come with the Zaku I kit. You get some of the same extras that come with the Zaku II Master Grade, but not all of them. So, starting off with hands here, as I showed, you got those posable hands. You do get a pair of fist hands. You also get the pair of open hands. You do get the standard heat hawk for this kit. It's the same thing that came with the Zaku II kit. Annoying little peg and all. This comes molded, I believe, in one color. I don't remember exactly what color it comes molded in. It might be blue. I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of things come in blue on this kit. So you're going to want to paint this up to make it look good. Okay, there are a couple of unique items that come with the Zaku I Master Grade kit. You do get the old style Zaku machine gun here, which is this here. This comes molded in gray plastic, but you can go ahead and paint it whatever color you want, so it looks pretty accurate on the kit here. The magazine is loaded on the side of the gun, like so. It comes off. You can stick it on to any of the hard points on the kit if you want. Get that back on there. So, little tab folding out. Secondary handle comes out like so. If you can manage to get it to hold on to there, good luck with that. It does come with a scope that moves up and down. There is no clear piece that goes in the scope here, and as a matter of fact, the scope is just completely hollow. You can see right through it. I guess that's an okay look. I have seen the depictions of the Zaku I machine gun with an actual lens in there. I don't know if that was an oversight with this kit or not, but that's just kind of the way it is. It doesn't looks a little bit incomplete like this, but I guess it's just the way it is. Alright, and the other unique item you get with the Zaku I kit is the Knuckle Shield. which is pretty much just the Zaku II shield with some spikes added on the end and a little handle added on here too. I think this looks pretty nice. Again, with the Zaku I machine gun, good luck if you can actually get the kit to actually hold on to this thing. This handle does come molded in blue plastic as well, so if you want to paint it, paint it. If not, just leave it the way it is. Alright, in addition to the Zaku I specific equipment, you do still get the parts to make the Zaku Bazooka with this. So you get a bazooka, and you also get the parts to make a Zaku II machine gun. However, there is a bit of a catch with that. The Zaku II machine gun that comes with this kit is molded in blue plastic, as you might have guessed. So, if you want that to look right, you are going to have to paint it. But, in my case, I did something different with my Zaku II machine gun here. I made some modifications to it, like this here. The assault rifle version of the Zaku gun. It is not the machine gun. And the only time I have ever seen this depicted is in the PlayStation 2 video game Zeonic Front. If you look on the ground warfare type listing of the Zaku I, you will see a 120mm assault rifle listed, but there is no depiction of it. This is what that looks like, in case you were wondering. So, it basically looks like a modified Zaku machine gun with an extended stock on the end with a longer barrel and a side-mounted cartridge on it. But yeah, that's what it looks like, and I made this specifically for my Zaku I kit because I have enough Zaku II machine guns as is, so I might as well just modify one of them. And lastly, pilot figure, Zeon Soldier. He's there. Alright, well, in comparison to the Zaku II kit, there are some notable omissions from the Zaku II kit that you don't get with this kit. You don't get the cracker grenades. I mean, you could have had that with this kit. You can still, if you have the cracker grenades, you can still put them on the back sword armor if you want. You won't get the leg-mounted missile pods because, well, obviously they aren't going to fit on here because there's no place for them to plug into. This kit does not come with those plastic stickers that the Zaku II kit comes with, so you don't get those with this here. You do get the heavy user detail parts though with this kit here. They come molded in blue plastic, as everything else is on it. You can use them if you want. But if not, you can use them on something else. Again, it's kind of a nice little leftover part to use if you want. Okay, let's talk about trying to actually get the weapons in the hands of this thing here, because that seems to be the big problem I have with this kit, is that he doesn't like to really hold on to his weapons very well. This is the Zaku I machine gun. If I can get it in the hand here, just like so. Really hold it. Not very well before it starts to sag out of the hands here, so. If you do get this kit, you may want to consider tightening up the joints on the hands a little bit. Even though I painted this kit, the hand joints are very loose on here. It reminds me a lot of the frustrations I have with the hands on the RX-79 Ground Gundam, which has notoriously bad hands, in my opinion. The Knuckle Shield, as I mentioned, good luck if you're able to actually get this in the hand and keep it there. See if I can get it on here. It's supposed to kind of snugly fit around the hand, but it doesn't do a very good job of this. Yeah, it just falls off. Let's see, with the assault rifle on there, not too bad. I mean, it's still loose grip. It'll drop it eventually, but I think it holds the assault rifle pretty good because I did make sure to measure this thing out so that it would be able to actually hold it pretty well. So there you go. Well, there it is, the Master Grade Zaku I. I think that's about all I really have to say about this kit here. It is cheap, So if you are considering a 1/100th scale Zaku I, this is probably your best option right now, until the powers that be bless us with something better. Who knows if that will ever happen. 2,500 yen, pretty cheap. Like I mentioned, it came back out in 1999. It's got its share of issues from old master grades from that time, so. But I think in terms of overall looks, if you put the effort into this kit, you can make it look very decent and make it very good, in fact. Again, it has that sort of aesthetic that kind of matches the Zakus of the time period that it kind of came from here, which I think still kind of looks good. It has a nice level of detail to it, I would say, but articulation wise, it's pretty poor by today's standards, especially. In terms of color accuracy, this kit leaves it's good overall, but in some areas it still leaves a lot to be desired. That was sort of the thing with a lot of these early master grade kits that were recolors of other kits. Bandai didn't really put a lot of effort into color separating the new parts, so a lot of them would end up with incorrect colors on them, so they pretty much required painting in order to look somewhat accurate. Overall build quality, it's a really old master grade kit. You really can't expect too much out of it here. I would say this kit has more in common with the really old 1/100th scale high grades from the 90s than it does with 1/100th high grade kits from the last 10-20 years. So expect that level of quality out of this kit here. So would I recommend this kit? Unless you're looking for a 1/100th scale Zaku I kit, I probably wouldn't really bother with it. The Origin 1/144 Zaku I kits are very good. So if you want a Zaku I kit, I would probably recommend getting one of those. So that's the way it is. I don't really feel like giving this one a score because it is so out of date, and it's kind of a little bit unfair to kind of give it a score. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it at that. So like I said in my recommendation, only get it if you really want a large-scale Zaku I. Otherwise, this guy is a relic of the past, and it's really only for collectors, I would say. So anyway, that's going to be my review of this kit here. I hope you found it interesting. I figure there aren't that many reviews of the old Zaku I Master Grade, so I figured I would go ahead and do that and share this kit with you all if you have ever been curious about this guy. So yeah, that's the Master Grade Zaku I. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you on the next review. Take care, and bye-bye.